Welcome to another English podcast provided by LingExam Language Academy. The name of this podcast is The Future of the IELTS Exam, Digital Transformation, AI, and Evolving Skills provided by lingexam.com. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're exploring something huge, really impacts millions globally, the way the IELTS exam is evolving. Now, this isn't just any test, is it? It's this global benchmark for English, and, well, it has to keep adapting. Technology, expectations, everything's moving so fast. And if you follow international English testing, hearing IELTS changes can be, well, interesting, maybe a bit worrying. So our mission today, we want to cut through the noise, give you a shortcut really to understanding what's happening now and what's coming. We'll cover digital delivery, AI marking, even new question types. The aim is to give you those aha moments, a clear picture without you feeling overwhelmed. Okay, let's unpack this. The future of the IELTS exam.
Absolutely. And clarity here is just so important. For anyone taking IELTS or even thinking about it, understanding these shifts isn't just, academic interest. It's critical. Critical for preparing effectively and ultimately for succeeding. What's fascinating here is how one of the world's most respected language tests is evolving to stay relevant. It's quite the balancing act.
It really is. IELTS is such a cornerstone, but it is changing. So the big question is why? Why is such a well-established, vital exam like this undergoing such significant changes? What's pushing it?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's not just one thing. Multiple forces are definitely at play. We could probably boil it down to four main drivers. First, and maybe the biggest one, is technological innovation. I mean, look at computer-based testing, online platforms, AI. Artificial intelligence is getting so much better at, assessing language skills. It's a profound shift.
Okay, technology, that makes sense. What else?
Then there are student expectations. Today's test takers, they expect things differently. They want results fast, they want flexible options for taking the test, and they want to feel the process is fair, unbiased. Many students now expect their IELTS results really quickly after the exam, maybe in just a few days. That really underscores the demand for these modern digital solutions.
Right, instant gratification generation, almost.
Yeah, maybe. But it's also about efficiency. Third is global competition. You've got newer tests popping up, right? Things like the Duolingo English test, the TOEFL IBT Home Edition. These often start digital first, so it pushes IELTS to keep modernizing its own offerings. They can't stand still.
Competition keeps everyone on their toes.
Exactly. And finally, number four, security demands. It's huge. There's this constant need for better security. Cheating, impersonation. These are real challenges. So advanced security solutions are absolutely critical to protect the test's integrity. If we connect this to the bigger picture, these aren't just minor adjustments. They reflect a fundamental shift in how we approach language assessment in the digital age. It's about maintaining trust.
So tech, user needs, competition, security. A powerful mix. But, for listeners maybe feeling a bit anxious about this, how disruptive are these changes? Is it a sudden shakeup or something more gradual?
That's a really important point. It's definitely more of a thoughtful evolution, not a sudden revolution.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. It's about a thoughtful evolution, not a sudden shakeup.
Precisely. All the adjustments, they go through rigorous testing. They're introduced incrementally, very gradually. The idea is to avoid disrupting learners, teachers, institutions. No sudden shocks. And look, the traditional paper-based IELTS, it still exists. It coexists with the newer digital formats. For instance, while the IELTS exam is moving toward more computer-based testing, traditional paper-based exams are still available in some regions. It shows that transition.
So choice is still there, for now at least.
Yes, so the main directions have changed. Expect more digital delivery, definitely faster results, better security, and yes, more AI involvement. But the core skills being tested, listening, reading, writing, speaking, they stay the same. This raises an important question, though. How does a global test maintain its gold standard while embracing such significant advancements? It's a tightrope walk.
A very careful one, it sounds like. Okay, so it's evolution, not revolution. Let's get concrete. What digital and AI changes are actually happening now? What can people see and experience today?
Right, let's look at the current transformations. On the digital transformation side, computer-based testing is probably the most visible change. It's becoming much more common, especially in cities. Why? Quicker results, more flexible scheduling. It's just more convenient.
And easier to administer, I imagine.
Absolutely. Then there's IELTS Online. This is for the academic test, available in many countries now. It uses remote proctoring, so a live supervisor watches you via webcam. You can take the test from home.
From home, wow. But there must be requirements.
Oh, definitely. IELTS Online allows candidates to sit the test from home, provided they meet the technical and security requirements. And these are strict. Which brings us to enhanced security. Online testing needs advanced security, robust ID checks, sophisticated anti-cheating tech. It's all built in.
Okay, so digital delivery is expanding. What about the AI side? You mentioned AI and automated scoring. How is that being used right now? Is a robot marking my essay?
Huh, not quite. It's more about support for human examiners. AI is being used, for example, to pre-score writing tasks. It can flag potential errors, maybe inconsistencies. This speeds things up and helps maintain consistency across markers. The use of AI in IELTS marking means scores can be processed more rapidly, though final decisions are still made by human examiners. That human judgment, especially for higher bands and nuanced writing, is still crucial.
So AI assists, but humans have the final say.
Exactly, especially for the complex skills like writing and speaking evaluation. AI also plays a big role in security application. It helps detect cheating, potential impersonation, unusual patterns of behavior during the test. It's another layer of integrity protection.
That makes sense, using tech to enhance efficiency and security, but keeping the human element for judgment. Now, moving beyond the delivery and marking, what about the test content? Are the questions themselves changing?
Yes, that's another really interesting area of evolution. We're seeing a move towards new question types and authentic tasks. The big push here is for real-world relevance. IELTS is looking at questions that mirror how we actually use English day to day.
Like what, for example?
Well, instead of just reading a text and answering multiple choice, maybe you'd watch a short video clip.
Okay.
And then you'd have to maybe summarize what happened or explain how you'd respond in that situation. That prepares you directly for real-world communication situations.
Ah, I see. More practical.
Definitely. Or another example, in the writing section, maybe instead of a standard essay topic, you might be asked to compose an email to a manager.
Right, summarizing a report, making recommendations, stuff you
Yeah.
actually do at work or university.
Precisely. It mimics professional communication. The goal is also to introduce less predictability. More varied, authentic materials and question styles discourage just memorizing templates and encourage genuine language ability. These tasks really represent a clear shift towards mimicking actual language use. It's less about testing grammar in isolation, more about assessing practical application.
That feels like a positive step, making the test preparation even more valuable for life after the test. Okay, so that's what's happening now. Let's look ahead. Crystal ball time. What are your predictions for IELTS over the next, say, 3 to 5 years? What's on the 2025-2030 horizon?
Okay, looking ahead, I think we'll see online testing become the norm. IELTS Online, currently just academic, will likely expand to general training, and it'll probably gain wider acceptance from universities and immigration, especially as remote security tech gets even better.
Makes sense. What else?
Faster results and more digital features. I predict results within maybe 1 to 2 days. Listening and reading scores could become almost instant. And imagine getting detailed digital feedback dashboards showing your strength, weaknesses, linked to the band descriptors. Much more useful for improvement.
Instant scores would be amazing. And detailed feedback. Yes, please.
Then, increased AI in marking and security. We'll likely see more hybrid scoring. AI does the initial pass, humans verify and handle the nuances, especially for high scores, and security will get even smarter. Think advanced AI tools. Facial recognition, maybe voice recognition, behavior monitoring to catch any funny business.
Wow, quite futuristic.
It's about maintaining that integrity. Also, expect more authentic and practical tasks, more tasks that integrate skills like reading something, listening to something related, than writing or speaking about it. More workplace emails, summarizing real scenarios. We might even see slightly shorter test sections, particularly for computer-based tests, maybe even adaptive difficulty in reading and listening down the line.
Adaptive difficulty, so the questions change based on your answers.
Potentially, yes. If you're doing well, it might give you slightly harder questions to pinpoint your level more accurately, possibly making the section quicker. It's a long-term possibility. And finally, personalization and accessibility. The big one here could be modular testing, letting you retake just one skill, like writing, if that's all you need to improve.
Oh, that would be a game changer for many people.
It would. Plus, continued improvements in accessibility features for candidates with disabilities, screen readers, extra time, things like that.
That's a really comprehensive picture of the near future. So what does this all mean for you, the test taker planning your future? It sounds like a more efficient, possibly more relevant, and definitely more secure IELTS is coming. Now, with all this change, it's vital to stress what won't change, right? What's the bedrock of IELTS that people can rely on no matter what?
Absolutely crucial point. Despite all the tech and new tasks, the core pillars remain solid. First, the core skills. IELTS will always be about assessing listening, reading, writing, and speaking. That's its fundamental purpose.
Okay, the four skills aren't going anywhere.
Nope. Second, human involvement. This is key.
Hmm.
A real human examiner will continue to be involved, especially in the speaking test. Why? Because authentic face-to-face interaction is vital for real-world language use. Despite technological advances, IELTS speaking will still involve a real examiner, ensuring candidates are assessed on authentic interaction. A machine just can't fully capture that human element yet.
That's very reassuring, especially for the speaking test.
And third, fairness and integrity. Every single change, every innovation is rigorously tested and implemented with the goal of enhancing fairness, transparency, and the overall validity of the exam for everyone. Maintaining that global trust is paramount.
Okay, so core skills, human interaction and speaking, and fairness remain constant. That's good to hear. Could we do a quick recap, skill by skill? What changes, what stays?
Sure, for speaking, changes might include more online video interviews, AI helping examiners score faster and more consistently, new real-life scenario tasks, and biometric security. What won't change? The real human examiner interaction and the focus on core criteria like fluency, coherence, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation.
Got it. Writing.
Writing. Changes include AI pre-marking for speed, more practical tasks like emails or memos, and digital feedback. What won't change? The two basic tasks, Task 1 report letter, Task 2 essay, and the essential human check, especially for higher band scores.
Reading and listening.
Reading and listening. Changes could mean instant results, maybe more multimedia input like video clips for listening, and potentially adaptive difficulty later on. What won't change? The fundamental focus on comprehension skills, skimming, scanning, understanding detail, inference, etc. That core remains.
That breakdown is super helpful. It really emphasizes that while the how might change, the what proving your English skills stays the same. So final practical point, how can listeners stay updated on all this? Where should they look?
Best bet is always the official sources. Regularly check the official IELTS websites. That means British Council, IDP, and Cambridge Assessment English. They publish all the official news.
Okay, stick to the source.
Definitely. Also, follow their official social media channels or newsletters. Reputable IELTS forums and online communities can be useful too for discussion, but always verify info with the official sites. And, crucially, practice with the most current materials. Look out for announcements about new task types or pilot tests. Being proactive is key to staying ahead of the curve.
Excellent advice. Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive. The main message seems clear. IELTS is evolving, significantly but thoughtfully. Technology, user needs, competition, security, they're all driving change. But while it's embracing digital delivery, AI, and more real-world tasks, its core mission, assessing your English skills fairly and reliably, isn't changing. So what does this all mean? It means a more dynamic, responsive IELTS that still holds true to its foundational principles of assessing real-world English.
Exactly. I'd encourage listeners to see these changes not just as hurdles, but as opportunities. Opportunities to develop and demonstrate truly practical language skills that are valuable well beyond the exam itself. It's about adaptable learning.
That's a great way to frame it. Which leads to a final thought for you listening. As the IELTS exam continues to mirror real-world communication more closely, how might mastering these updated test types not just help you pass the test, but truly prepare you for success in a digitally connected English-speaking world beyond the exam room? Something to ponder. Now, if you want to stay ahead and really understand how these changes affect your IELTS preparation, we strongly suggest checking out our specialized courses. For instance, our IELTS Academic Writing Task 2 Vocabulary, Band 6 to 7 course at LingExam Language Academy is designed to give you the in-depth strategies, current vocabulary, and guidance tailored precisely to the latest IELTS trends. Visit LingExam.com, that's LingXam.com, to learn more, boost your skills, and smash that target score. Your journey to IELTS success starts right here. Embrace the changes, master the skills, and let us help guide you. This deep dive was brought to you by LingExam.com.